BlossoM's comp is riding on. So this is really kind of the culmination of everything that BlossoM has worked for. Their roster changes, their role changes, the meta change with 6 bans coming through. BlossoM has to prove it right here if they want to go to the Eastern Clash.
And I think the thing to me that's so iconic about this series for BlossoM is it's the most pure form of aggression, heavy, high-octane engages that we've seen from them. And that's what may win them the series. You could argue it's what lost them game 1, but they've made some tweaks. They've ran stronger versions of comps, still good at team fighting in games 2 to now 4. And BlossoM, once again, in this game that they need to win to get Eastern Clash, they run this again. They run the aggressive tank engage composition. They're already at level 1, just dashing and blowing up towers here.
Gonna go for it. I'm glad that at least Miracle will be able to stop kind of a little bit of a cheese. That is not the way it's meant to work. They were hoping that they could get there fast enough to get the damage done and get out before the wave even came, but maybe not quite so lucky. Definitely not going as planned.
Against a lot of other DPSs, this would have been fine, but obviously you could just go into phase mode and shoot long range. I was sick juking by Meride around that scroll of ceiling. But yeah, I mean, that was just a small mechanical mistake by Honkono. He did like one more auto attack than he was supposed to. He would have gotten out otherwise. But it hurts, you know? I mean, we could say like, small mistake, but in the grand scheme of things, it ends up adding up. Continue to make mistakes like this.
They are at that level disadvantage. I'm just kidding, but for it probably won't extrapolate into very much else. We'll see if maybe that does slingshot things one way or another. Either way, we are seeing camps being done. Of course, Nitrogen and Sonya will be able to solo that out. Big advantage, that pick.
They do end up being about a third of a level behind because the fact that they rotated down, they lost a minion wave because of it. So it's the death and also the minion wave that was lost. Not a complete wave, but still a few minions were lost in that rotation. So it's impactful, sure. Like, you know, you mentioned that. It does lead you to a faster 4 for Miracle, who are actually going to start the camp a little bit later than BlossoM here. We'll, of course, clean up that bot wave in just a second. Kind of a weird laning setup here with Anubrock challenging Phoenix right now, but it actually works out because he has such heavy engage and they didn't have full vision as to where BlossoM was. Like, look at where Sniper is right now. From his perspective, he sees Honkono, he's like, well, they're probably doing the camp, and now he knows, of course, but a second ago, he's like, well, what if I try to trade with Honkono when they're in that bush right there or above the bush and they kill me? So it's kind of cool to see Honkono beat a Phoenix in lane on a Nubrock because the Phoenix is so scared because he doesn't have vision.
So, yeah, and that is one of the vulnerabilities of Phoenix. Like, you can be so annoying if you have the scouting information that allows you to press that advantage, but if you don't know, like, you're just so squishy early on that generally it's not going to be a good idea to push that far forward. So let's see how things go as we are moving into altar time. First one spawning in just a few seconds down on the bottom half of the map, so obviously that will allow maybe a... Oh my god,
Honkono, man. Honkono
That's what we were talking about.
Wiz Kono. The engaged potential is limitless. If you're Phoenix, you better be well-positioned or you are going to die.
I mean, that's exactly what we were saying, right? The Phoenix cannot overstep just minutely because you're going to get taken down by such hard engage there. BlossoM show that already they are looking to push that button and make Phoenix have a bad day. So they do get the first altar. BlossoM going to be up a little bit. Not going to matter unless they're for a couple more altars, but just little tiny advantages.
So it's the 20% bonus as well for Raynor. Like literally every hero except Karazim on their lineup can stun or slow enemies to give the extra bonus damage for that level 1. So like that's basically broken in this comp. It's like not even fair when you think about what that is going to be. Raynor already does such an insane amount of auto attack damage from level 1, from just starting out the gate. It's going to get stronger and more potent as the map goes on. And he has that extra 20% bonus damage pretty much permanently in every fight. And this engage comp works well with Raynor because of that. Uh-oh, speaking of engage, look at this again.
This is not going to be a long time for Blue Beetle to stay a while. He gets taken out almost instantly, and there's really no chance for counter engage. Just not enough damage there. Frankel's not super online just yet.
They're not respecting BlossoM's comp. They need to be more careful on rotation. They need to have vision before they walk into brushes like this. Desperation or no, based on tribute spawn, sure, BlossoM had the tribute spawn advantage, but you have to just give it up if you don't have info. And look, once again, they overextend. They're killed.
Okay, are we just going to see the same exact thing over and over again? BlossoM, they hide in the bushes, they hard engage when you're out of position. Wiz was even just using that Pyromania to stay alive by himself, and Miracle are like, hey, we can kill him now. It's like, no, you don't know where the enemy team is. And they hard engage for more kills.
Yeah, I mean, that was just sloppy in two ways there. The first death for Sniper just kind of walking in there and then sticking around to try to prevent Curse Point. It's just, like, I understand the idea and why they did it, but I think that, like, it was just, in most ways, the obvious risk is there that you're going to get caught again, and they did, and they died. So I think Miracle's kind of losing sight, again, of what BlossoM's comp is designed to do and what every comp they've built this entire best of 5 has been designed to do, and that is to fight, engage, stun lock somebody, and kill them.
They're just super good at doing that. Very well coordinated. If you'd asked me who was the better coordinated team before this series, I would have said Miracle. They looked great in their game against Gen G. This was the biggest thing that allowed them to come back. Their coordination was just insane. But against BlossoM, they just have great drafting, and they execute on those drafts incredibly well. So, I mean, Miracle has not shown that they have an answer for that. See if they can come up with one over the course of this game. Otherwise, BlossoM will take their spot at the Eastern Clash.
Certainly will. It's still a close game. The last tribute spawn favored Miracle, was on blue side of the map, so they did not get cursed. They're still going to match 10 here for this next tribute. It's a red side tribute.
Sniper. This is going to hurt. And the last hit. Boom goes the dynamite. And yeah, he warped and it wasn't far enough.
Minions just going to say no to that Stormbolt. 10's up, so Gust also allows him to disengage. And guess what? Frankel's caught here. This is going to be cursed, but how many kills are they going to get before it? Nacho Gen slowed. It is going to be the Banshees this time.
And the last hit comes through. Falstad there to pick Sonya off, and another pick for BlossoM. This is just the same thing over and over.
So now, you know, 10's up, Curse is up. They're going to kill onto Sonya, so this is going to be insanely impactful. They could even try to get a boss right after this. Their comp works better on boss than Miracle's. So that's another advantage they have. It is 7-sided strike for Meriday. I know the Meriday fans out there, myself included, are like, oh, I wish I got to see Palm, but it just doesn't make sense in this case, especially not for their composition. Gehon Kono has the Unstoppable, has the ability to escape with his Burrow stock, so it's not actually, or Burrow charge, excuse me, not actually the riskiest thing for him to stand like that. And from where I'm standing right now, it looks like this is just going to be a continued increase of Anubarak's win rate if this game continues to be played like this. Judy going in, putting himself into 7-sided strike. Sleep comes through here, but it's not going to be enough to save him. He goes down. Huge mistake on the engage here. Why fight there? Good dodge on the Cocoon, but it's not going to be enough. 2 dead.
Judy dies through Avatar. I mean, that's just how bad that positioning was. And even with the salvo to come out and maybe deal a little bit of chip damage, it's just totally superficial at this point. They have the curse, or they had the curse, rather, and they don't need a whole lot more. With more kills coming through, this keep will be BlossoM's, and I mean, I don't think they're going to push through the core, but this is certainly a little bit ahead of schedule on this keep timing. It goes down BlossoM with a massive advantage.
20 seconds to Gus means they could take red side boss here, I think, pretty easily. It's basically free for them. And I think there's an argument to be made to take blue side boss, but it's risky. And even in worst case scenario here now, you trade bosses. But what that means is your boss, which Anubarak Honkoto just prepped the wave to push top lane, your boss goes directly to keep wall. You can get so much value out of it. Whereas their boss is going to hit a fort with a fort wall. So their boss that you're trading here, sure, you could have maybe played it greedier and maybe even just won the game off winning a team fight on their boss with a 13 talent tier advantage. But why do that when your Eastern Clash Lipus on the line? You're up 3 levels and a talent tier. Take your boss, allow the boss trade to happen. Look for picks. You could still win the game off this boss, but you're going to trade up in bosses no matter what. There's like no losing in this situation for BlossoM with the safe play. So they could end this game now if Miracle makes a mistake. They need to respect this composition, which they have not done throughout the early game.
I mean, this is just such a powerful play by BlossoM. I'm glad you pointed out that even in the end, the trade just will not be equal. BlossoM pushing through yet another keep. There's damage going down on their core right now, and they're hard engaging again, immediately blowing Sniper apart. Even Judy, very vulnerable. I mean, even through Avatar. Now, the counter kills may start coming through here. A reset to start things off, but can they get another kill? I mean, even Judy running for the fountain. He's going to make it back to the hearth, but
Blue Beetle lives too, but I mean...
Wow, that's... I mean, they do a really good job running away, Wolf. Even Franco, rather, getting back on the fountain, but...
They could still look for a core call here, even if they get wiped. Nothing too horrible happens. I think they're going to leave, though. Meriday trying to buy some time. We will have a second dash in just a second here.
Franco looking a little bit scary as he drops very, very low. Miracle are going to go for a little bit of a chase here, but they have to get these minions off their core.
Yeah, Nitrogen will pull the catapults away. They end up taking 6% damage. Their bottom keep wall for BlossoM ended up taking some damage there as well to the last health of the boss, but now they have free soak. That's another thing you gain from this play is you get the free soak here as the minion wave pushes up. So they got only the actual gate itself. So free soak for Falstad down in the bot lane because the boss pushes into that situation for you. You have 2 keeps down, so you have 2 lanes of catapults coming their way. Again, they could have tried to go for a core call there, but it would have been pretty risky. Even if they get wiped, it's not like they're going to lose the game, but playing it safe, maintaining this talent to your advantage. And this game is not over by any means for Miracle, but they are basically playing with one hand tied behind their back for a while now. To catch up to 16 is going to be a tall ask, especially since the bottom wave is just now becoming available for them to soak. It was pushed all the way because of their boss to the bot keep wall, so they couldn't soak that at all. Now they can, but they need to be careful to make sure that they don't get caught again by this engage. I mean, we're talking 10 kills to 2, and I think a lot of people look at this and go like, well, BlossoM is the way better team. In this series, certainly that has been true, but they're playing their comps so well, and Miracle's not playing around it. That's why you see the 10 to 2, because they have stun into stun into stun into root. You're dead. Like, what are you going to do?
And, I mean, to just go off of that, Miracle are not respecting that, even from early on. Level 1 into, I think, the next fight at, like, level 4. I don't know exactly what it was, but the same idea. They keep getting picked over and over again. It's hard engaged. I mean, BlossoM are willing to just fight them straight up. And Miracle, there's no way that they can contest that down this talent tier advantage, or I guess almost.
They need to just give this tribute up. Okay, they do. They do not even come close to it. They used to sit back and soak. The catapults make it easier for them to soak. So, you know, with these 2 catapults top, the wave pushes to a safer place for them to get experience. Love where Judy's standing right now, making sure the BlossoM's not going to hard engage while they get that much needed experience. They're still very far away from 16, but this is all they could do. They need 16 before the next tribute, because the next tribute means curse, which means minimum they lose their last keep, probably going to lose the game. So they need 16 before that. It's going to be a blue side tribute as well. So that's going to be the fight they need to take. Winning a fight on that tribute is actually how they can possibly get their way back into this game. They don't have 16 in time, though. 20 seconds left before this spawns. And now they're at catch 22. If they leave the tribute, they're cursed. They're cursed. If they fight on it, they're fighting talent tier down into hard engage CC that BlossoM's been using to win this game. They're going to take the option to not engage, not get wiped here. They're going to have to fight back against curse.
This is just so many hard decisions to make for Miracle right now. I mean, they are so close to level 16. That would be huge for them if they can get it, but they can't get it in time, realistically. And now they are cursed, and maybe in more ways than one.
This curse timing for BlossoM, unfortunately, doesn't mean a whole lot. And they could go for a boss play here, obviously, to look to end the game. But, like, they can't... There's nothing on the map where you're like, okay, now they have the curse, so they can make a sick play. There's no more structures left to kill, you know, minus the bottom keep. So the bottom keep is going to go down eventually. But they're going to get this boss, so they're going to look for a play to win. Honkono's perfectly positioned to slow down the rotation over. Miracle realizes they're going to look for a team fight here, but it's too late. Honkono's back. They get boss. And now Miracle can't fight into this area.
Miracle just totally being run ragged right now. They can't find any opportunity to engage anywhere. There's creeps and catapults on their core, and even their bottom keep wall is being pushed by that wave. The curse just so impactful. You know, it did allow for BlossoM to get the boss, and even though that may not be a lot, it might just be enough to allow them to make this core call. Going in, though, trying to fight with their last life. Nitrogen gets in, gets back out. There's Stay a While, but the bunker actually is the saving grace against that. Now, one kill comes through, and many more to follow. 2 dead, and BlossoM going for the core.
They're going for the core. This is going to be the last fight of the game. They crush it. 13 kills to 2. They lost the first map. They win the next 3. They will win the series, and they will qualify for Eastern Clash. BlossoM is able to make it happen. Overcome with emotion here as Honkono can't even believe it. But Honkono,
hell yeah. No, you got to know they feel just absolutely ecstatic. And for a Miracle that might have been just on fire after beating Gen G, I think we all know that BlossoM knew that they had a lot to overcome, and they absolutely prepared for it and deserve to be the final representative from Korea at the Eastern Clash.
Back-to-back be those Korea reps. And, you know, it's a series like this that really shows a team's play style. It shows a team's color, the engagement that they were so good at, they were so strong at. And Miracle, as much as they prepared and played well against Genji and won that series, they, however, did not adapt in this series in terms of their bans against the heavy CC that we were seeing from BlossoM, and they did not, in terms of their play and the rotations, adapt against how they were dominated. Honkono's the only one who walks away with 2 deaths here from the early game where it wasn't as dominant when things didn't really start to snowball against Miracle just yet. But it makes sense, right? He's the one who's spotting everyone. He's the one who's preventing mounting, etc. But no other deaths on the side of BlossoM. It was clean. It was a crushing victory. And they drafted to their style. Now as we look at Eastern Clash, do we look at BlossoM and say, this is the team that's going to go all the way? I don't think anyone can predict that right now. And there are some glaring weaknesses for this squad, and their drafting style is very one-dimensional, at least in this best of 5. But they were able to pull it off. They were able to qualify. Now they've got some time. Western Clash is first before Eastern Clash. They've got a lot of time to kind of go back to the drawing board, prepare what kind of drafts they want to run. We're going to be on a new patch, obviously. So there's a lot of different things to think about for BlossoM. But they are able to make it happen in a pretty big upset today, I think most would say.
Yeah, and even regardless of it being an upset or not, just getting a chance to see the relative power levels of these middle-of-the-track teams, middle-of-the-pack teams. For HGC Korea, it's always been a little bit striated, right? You know, who are the top 3 teams, the bottom 2 teams, and the teams in the middle that do, well, I guess we're not sure. But for BlossoM, they have proven that they really do deserve to be exactly where they are. They're contending for the top spot. Even Miracle are contending for that, to be in the upper 3. But BlossoM do really deserve their win today. They take out Miracle. Maybe Genji breathes a sigh of relief that they won't be assassinated by some, team that they don't expect. But here's a look at the way that the games did go today. An early win for Miracle, but then BlossoM taking 3 in a row to secure their spot at the Eastern Clash.
I'd say, with the exception of Sky Temple, all 4 of these games were very one-sided as well. It was very kind of hit or miss for whether BlossoM was able to make their comp work well. They had a great early game on Towers of Doom, and then they were just totally dominated. They had a bad team fight comp. Then on Sky Temple, that's where it was really, really a close game in a lot of ways, but in the end, BlossoM got all the keeps and crushed the late game. So that part was pretty one-sided. And then Battlefield of Eternity